Hi, my name is Monica. And I just want to say thanks so much for inviting me to share my story with you. So I'm just going to dive right in. Um, I began this program about 6 weeks ago. I actually just finished, and I feel amazing. I'm definitely wanting to share my results and my story with everybody just because how incredible would it be if everybody felt great and amazing too, you know? So, my story actually began about 3.5 years ago. I suffered a traumatic loss. My son died. And about a year and a half into my grief, which was really acute, I made a decision that in order for me to bring some emotional stability back into my life, that I had to incorporate radical self care. And a large part of that self care regime involved food. So, about a year and a half ago or so, I had begun the journey of kind of reestablishing my relationship to food. In the past, I didn't even know this word existed, as a matter of fact, until, I don't know, a year or so ago. But if anybody's familiar with emotional undereating, some people, when they're emotional, they overeat. For me, it was just the opposite. My appetite was obviously after my son died, just completely decimated. And so when I decided to make a decision to try and feel better, it was so tough to force myself to eat. And I mean, at least the food that I ate or was choosing to eat was good, healthy, organic food. In fact, I've been eating organic for over 20 years, have been a vegetarian for most of them. But I would say that after about 6 or 8 months of kind of reestablishing a baseline or emotional baseline, I guess, if you will, I still had horrible, horrible fatigue. It would take me like 2 hours to get out of bed in the morning. Luckily, I work for myself, so I had the luxury of doing that, but it just, something was off and something wasn't right. So I had decided to go to a doctor and get a bunch of blood work done, and sure enough, the results came back and some things were off. And the doctor, he he's sort of like a functional medicine. I actually live outside of the country at the moment. But he was sort of like a functional medicine doctor. And he provided me with all these supplements to take. And while I felt really good after taking them, for me, it just wasn't sustainable in the sense that I've always known, and I had an experience years ago in 2009 with the help of a practitioner, because I had some health issues then. I've always known that I could use food to heal myself, and I just didn't know how. So I had been following Kelly's work for, I'd say, about 9 months. So when I saw the 4-part video series, I think it was, that introduced the program, I jumped on it. I pulled the trigger right away, only because I was ready. I was ready, willing. For me, there was really it was kind of a no-brainer. And I'm so glad that I did it, because I think between with the meditations and bringing meat back into my life has been huge. And I have to say that, or rewind a little bit and say that one of the biggest things or to come out of this has been my entire relationship with food has changed. Whereas before in my life, the whole emotional undereating, in essence, when I look back doing this program, I realize I was starving. And that deprivation showed up in so many different areas of my life. Like, who knew that food, I mean, it seems kind of like a no-brainer, I guess, when I say it out loud, but just not eating, it affects everything, right? I mean, because how you feel affects everything. And if you're not feeding your body good food, it's just, I don't see how you can be in your right mind quite literally, because I know for me, I was starving and my body was starving, and now I eat like a horse and I don't feel bad about it. So I feel great, and that to me is the most important thing of all, is to feel good, because I believe that life is too short to feel otherwise. So thanks so much for watching my testimonial, and I hope you have wonderful success with the program too.